sell you their mixtapes?
Yes.
Times have changed, bro. I've had a whole new experience. I was at Walmart.
Oh no, this is already good.
Sunday night. Yep, Sunday night. It was late. It was like at like 11 p.m., 11:30. They're about to close. They close at midnight. I'm over here. I just gotta pick up a couple stuff. I'm checking out. Dude comes up to me and is like, "Yo, you rock graphic tees?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, yeah, I mean, I mainly rock skate brands, but yeah, I rock graphic tees. It's like, all right, cool. Well, you know, over here, I create my own graphic tees and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. And he's like, and you know, my graphic tees, you know, you can wear them with whatever, it don't matter and stuff like that. I was like, okay, it's cool. And then at that point, I was hoping it'd be done at that, and then he decides to go further on, pull out his phone. He's like, here, let me show you some of the designs I got. And basically his logo is like two cash signs but flip facing each other inward. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically, yeah, two cash signs inverted, and so they're kind of facing each other. I don't know how to describe it.
No,
but
yeah, I got you.
So he showed me one shirt with that like design on the like pocket chest area side where a pocket would be, and another with like a huge logo of it. And in my head I was thinking, oh man, this is an ugly shirt. But I was like, all right. It was just like, I would never be caught dead rocking anything like that.
Hey, you gotta respect the hustle, but refine your brand.
I respected the hustle, but yeah, the brand was boo. But I was like, hey, man, it's cool. It just ain't for me.
Yeah.
So,
pass, bro.
I appreciate you reaching out. But so he was just like, yeah, man, you know. And I sell them, you know, straight. Like, I sell them straight to you. So if you ever just interested in finding one, just, you know, come find me here at Walmart. You know like, they cost $25. I was like, all right, cool, dude. I was like, the day I come to Walmart wanting to buy one of your shirts,
the day you come to Walmart and buy something outside the Walmart.
Yeah. Part of me also, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Walmart don't want you out here doing their side hustle on business hours.
Walmart getting 10%.
Yeah. Walmart better be getting some of that cut. And this ain't even one of those full Walmarts. It's the Walmart marketplace where they only sell
just
like,
the groceries.
Yeah, grocery store Walmart. It made me even more upset. I'm like, dog. It would make sense if you saw me in the clothing aisle and like came up and approached me. If you saw me looking at those graphic shirts, bro. I was over here picking up some Chobani yogurt and some bread and turkey meat.
That's all. Some lunch stuff.
Just wanted to get some lunch and breakfast stuff, but nah. Get offered $25 shirts.
So good.
Balling on a budget over here. $25 shirt, bruh. That's a week's worth of grocery. You must be out your dang mind.
Wait. He was charging $25 a shirt?
A shirt. Bruh, I don't know who you think you are. First of all, you must be. He might have been doing. Well, I asked him how long he's been doing it. He said 3 weeks. And so I was like,
let me give you some advice.
He was like 3 weeks. I should have asked him, was like, how much have you sold so far? And be like, depending on how. I'm assuming you haven't sold that much, because either way, dog. Maybe how about you start with lowering your price, dog?
Yeah, you got to start low and then work your way up.
I refuse to spend $25 on jeans, dog. What makes you think? What makes you think I'm gonna? What makes you think I'm? What makes you think I'm gonna spend $25 on a shirt, bruh? If it's more than $20, bruh, it better be a special occasion.
I wasn't sure what you were gonna say. My man said jeans.
Dog, nah. I got my price range.
Unless Levi's is 60 to 70% off, we ain't talking. We are not talking.
$30, I got a 25% off coupon and an extra 25% off. We talking.
That is
nah,
right.
dog.
That is right.
You better have some coupon with those shirts.
Oh my!
Buy everything with coupon. I ain't got no shame over here. No, I'm gonna find my deals. I'm an outlet king.
Somebody came to me and they were like, "Well, no, that's right." So I was at a funeral, which was sad. But after the funeral, funerals you dress nice and whatnot. And there was this dude outside the reception area, the repast area. And I know the dude, we're starting to get pretty close, and he's a little bit younger than me. The man was dressed sharp, had some nice shoes on. And I said, yo, those shoes are sharp. And he said, you know where I got them? And I said, nope. He said, Ross. I said, let's freaking ride.
Yep, no shame, bro.
I'm telling you, Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. I might be going to the outlets on Saturday.
Yeah,
boy.
I went to the outlets this previous Sunday. Got me some nice stuff. Got me a little nice khakis for this wedding coming up. Got some other nice stuff. Yeah.
Shoot, I forgot that was happening.
Outlets is the moves.
Yeah. Always.
So.
Always.
But, yeah, to my Walmart side hustle guy, hey, man, listen. I appreciate your hustle, dog. It ain't for me. It ain't for me.
Yeah.
It ain't for me. And also, that was just crazy. I was just like, bro, we've evolved. At least it's not a mixtape. I guess I gotta be proud of that. At least it's not a mixtape. Like, that's one less rapper out there. At least I'm assuming. I'm assuming.
That's one less.
Yeah. Probably the next step after I buy a shirt is, hey, check out my SoundCloud.
I'm sure at some point I will be on Spotify or YouTube or, I don't know, Good Morning America. I'll be watching Good Morning America or something like that. And I'll see somebody that I turned down their mixtape at at the mall.
Yeah.
I'm sure someday it's going to happen.
Oh, it's going to happen with somebody.
But more often than not, and again, I respect the hustle, but more often than not, pass.
Yeah, hard pass. Hard pass. Ooh. And that's one of those, it's like, because unless I'm really close with you, like, I mean, I don't know. It just...
and even then, it might be an if.
just keep your mixtape to yourself, dog. Keep your mixtape to yourself. Bro, that's the one thing I hate with Twitter right now. Because everybody fiending for the viral tweets. And literally every tweet that has like 10K or more likes and retweets and whatever, if you read the comments, it's always the person that posted the video or whatever that went viral. Mm-hmm. They're always commenting on that own post. While you here, check out my SoundCloud. While you here, I'm like, just... Yo, how about for once, just let that post live. Everybody come in here because you had a funny post. That's it.
That's it.
I looked at it. I laughed at it. That's it. I want to read the funny comments. I don't want to see you over here.
No, the worst ones, bro.
Promoting your garbage.
The worst ones that are the ones that have no SoundClouds, no charitable causes. All that go is, look, I ain't got a SoundCloud, but if you feeling generous, you can hit the Cash App.
Oh my gosh, yep. There's those. Which, hey, I don't even blame your hustle because you probably gonna get at least 100 or something. Oh, there's gonna be some
especially females, bro. Yeah, especially females. I shudder to think how much they cash out on viral tweets because guys would be like, shoot,
she bad.
She bad. Yep. I'm about to shoot my shot with a few dollars.
Looks like my next month's subscription to Pornhub is going towards you.
Oh, no.
I'm calling out whoever you are. You know who you are. There's somebody out there.
They're looking for that premium Snapchat.
Oh, my God. Yep. Falling a fool to that. Watch me go live. That premium.
Yeah.
God, man. That's the other post that I hate the most. Like... Stop.
Nobody. Stop, man. Because you're nasty.
I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole, but at the end of the day,
mixtapes.
Keep your mixtapes to yourself. We ain't gonna have no issues. Nobody want to hear about your SoundCloud, all right?
Your premium Snapchat account. You got 13 subscribers on there. 13
Nobody
followers
want to see you go
there.
live, all right? Stop.
Oh.
All right. With that said,
Oh, I can keep going, bro. When
Bro, oh,
Instagram sends me notifications, somebody start a live video. Oh my God.
Yeah.
No. Well, first of all, if I wanted to be at the concert, I'd be there. And we've had that conversation. Put your phone down.
Oh, you've had people go live from concerts?
Yes.
Oh, I would fight that person.
Yes, I've wanted to swing. I've wanted to swing on people, which is great. Like if somebody comes back and they goes, "Hey, yo, look at," because you know we've been a party and gotten to see some crazy stuff as far as light shows, production, stuff like that. Yeah. So somebody walks up to me and goes, "Hey, so you know that Coldplay or that Bruno or that freaking Kendrick, whatever, check this out." Okay.
Yeah.
After the fact, all right, but literally. There were mad people for the Coldplay concert last time they were up here, or they were in DC, and people literally stayed on for 45 minutes, and I was like, and it was like 5 or 6 different people,
yeah,
like angles, like I had angles of the concert, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't be doing this, man, can't be doing this. No. Anyway,
but recapping this week real quick, I just need to let y'all know. Weezy F Baby is back, bruh. Oh my God! I didn't realize how much I miss Lil Wayne.
So how many pre-2012 tracks are on that album,
bruh? Oh, because I've been listening.
A handful, bro.
I've listened to that album at least 10 times already, and it's so weird because I can tell which songs are by year and stuff. And you can
the Ashanti track.
Yeah, the Ashanti.
Even the Travis Scott was from a few. Felt like it was
Travis
from a few
Scott
years
was
ago.
from 2014. Yeah, I saw a tweet about that. And then the Kendrick one is from a while ago also.
Yeah, that one was heat though.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, I love the long pause before Kendrick comes in.
Oh my God. Just let me pick up my phone for a second.
Let's go. It was pretty dope.
So, yeah, at 12 a.m., I think I was coming home because I had a soccer game, and then I had to, run by the store real quick. And by the time I got home, it was right at 12 a.m., and so I listened to it right as it dropped. And from the beginning, the opening track with his mom, and she just talking and stuff like that, had me in the feels. And then immediately...
When she was talking about him being a good father?
Yeah. And, everybody been asking about your album. I'm excited your album finally dropping and stuff like that. And it's just you've always taken care of me, Dwayne, and no matter what, I know you're going to take care of me and stuff. And she's just over here sobbing, and it's just very emotional, and it was just very beautiful. And it was cool. It was just a really, really heartfelt intro. And from that, beginning, you could tell it was going to be a different kind of album where, because typical Lil Wayne, Lil Wayne's great punchline rappers and stuff like that. But a lot of the songs on this track had meaning and stuff like that, which you don't I mean, the last album you got that with was Carter 3 from him and stuff like that. And so this was just after having that long of a period where everyone's been waiting for this album and stuff, and no one was really knowing what to expect. I mean, I think a lot of people, and part of it, a lot of people might have been going into it with just look, we're just getting some Lil Wayne music.
Yeah.
And so they were just good with that. And that was for me, I was at the end of the day, look, just finally getting this album. I'm happy for it. But as I was listening to it, I was like, bro, this was worth the wait.
Yeah, it had some depth. And worth
the wait.
I feel like there's something to an album comprised of songs. And I'm not saying Lil Wayne's the only one to have done this, because there have been multiple stories of artists releasing albums, and there's a track or tracks that were recorded years prior. But this feels like you're almost reading a journal over the course of 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild because I'm not sure if I've ever been able to listen to an album kind of in that way, thinking, oh, this feels like flipping through somebody's journal from over the course of years.
And it's just it's so because you get to see so many different styles, and he does them all so well. Where there's because Dark Side of the Moon with him and Nicki Minaj, that was a low-key really good song. Yes. And Nicki Minaj was dang, Nicki Minaj over here killing it on these vocals.
Yeah.
Over here singing. And that song, because the first time I heard it, I was like, whatever. And then I heard it again, and I was like, all right, this song kind of heat.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, this is one of those little in the feel songs. But yeah, I mean, like as the album carries, like, so it goes first track, him talk, like his mom talking. Second track, that song featuring XXXTentacion, and he has that line in that song where put a triple extension on my life, or something like that, rest in paradise. And you could tell like he went back and redid that song recently.
Yeah,
because
on Don't Cry.
Yeah,
the one that I had to listen to twice because there's literally like two hard turns in this song that were just so interesting, and he takes the opportunity to talk about the culture, the industry, his relationship with women. And his relationship with other people in the industry was Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because that's
Mona Lisa. I've
Oh my
listened to it
gosh.
at least like 20 times now,
bro.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those, you rarely get a song like that where it's a masterpiece from the beginning and end. It's telling a story, but it's like so well done.
Yeah.
And as it's going, you're getting more and more intense into the story.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't have gotten a better feature than freaking Kendrick Lamar.
No, that long
Kendrick with his
pause.
like 5 different voice changes, 5 different perspectives, and like 5 different moods and stuff like that. And as he's just panicking over here, and then the scene, like the part where her phone rings, is like, wait, is that Wayne on your phone? And you hear the lollipop ringtone, and you're just like, this is so genius.
Yes.
And then also
whole
you could,
thing.
yeah, it's, oh my gosh. You listen, and that's the thing that's cool with that song for me, because I listen to it every time, and there's a different part that stands out every time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those, like, such a well done song,
Yeah.
so freaking good, man. Oh, dude. And yeah, I love the Let It Fly with Travis Scott. That freaking chorus, just Travis Scott, let it fly. You just over here bumping like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then Lil Wayne's verse is just all flame. I think he chose like one word, mine was it, or line or something like that, and he rhymed everything with it.
So he's notorious for doing that.
Yeah.
Where he'll spend an entire verse or 3/4 of a verse literally rapping off of the same sound.
And it's so
he
good.
continually impresses you with going, that's not even a word. He started with like one word and then got to 3 words, and now he's not even using words.
Yeah.
He's using a combination of words
Yeah.
to make that sound.
So here, I have this like part pulled up from Let It Fly. He goes, and keep in mind, we do not mind losing our minds. Free your mind, read your mind. Body take a week to find. The cops gonna be like, never mind what's on your mind. Put the pistol to your mind and blow your mind. Control your mind. Mind freak, no sober mind. I'm so behind front line. You cross the line and you better know your lines. And if you getting out of line, I hang you with the clothing line.
Yeah.
Goodness, Wayne.
Yes.
Chill out.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And that's like only part of that verse, where that verse is just, he's just spitting it bars after bars, and you're just sitting there and you're just like bumping your head, but you're like, okay, yeah, all right.
That's
okay.
the kind of line that comes out in a freestyle where you don't want to make a noise because you're afraid you'll break his concentration.
Yep.
Like when somebody's freestyling and he's on his 3rd or 4th bar, and you're like, it's like driving through a tunnel.
Yeah.
It's like driving through a tunnel where I'm like, am I going to be conscious when I get to the end of this thing? But no, that was dope. And I literally, you ever be listening to an album from your phone and you hear something and it goes from good to really good to fire real quick, and you like look down at your phone. That was me during the song. I looked down at my phone like my phone offended me, or like my phone said something that I needed to repeat.
Playing the right thing?
Yes. Like my phone had said something to me that I wanted it to run back. I looked down. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
But no, that's and there was a couple moments like that on the album.
There's
that
like
being chief among them. I'm
so
glad you
many
brought
verses.
that up.
And like one of the things I love about, because to me Lil Wayne's my favorite rapper of all time. I grew up on Lil Wayne, and then that period with Carter 3, like 07 to 09, Wayne was on everything. I think every top song had a Lil Wayne feature in it, and he was just killing it from that period. And that was honestly like a great period in hip hop, because that's when I think around that time Kanye's Heartless came out, T.I.'s Paper Trails, one of my favorite hip hop albums of all time.
2009.
Yeah, Paper Trails, and that's when we got Swagger Like Us with him, Jay-Z.
Oh my god!
And like at that point, Wayne and T.I. were just killing it.
So what's crazy is Jay's verse in that song is fire, and it's the weakest verse in the track.
It's the weakest, and it goes in order. Jay's is the weakest, Kanye's the second weakest, Wayne's the third weakest, and then T.I.'s the best.
Yeah.
And like T.I. just goes in on that track. But a couple of the other tracks on the Wayne album, Let It All Work Out was the last one. And that's where he talks about, everyone knows the notorious story of him shooting himself. And then through this track, you kind of come to find out that it was him shooting himself was a pistol, or him shooting himself with a pistol was essentially a suicide attempt, because at that point I think his mom told him he couldn't rap anymore and stuff like that. And so it's like a very emotional track, and you just hear him talking about it. And man, this is one of my favorite verses from the line, but he goes, I found my mama's pistol where she always hide it. I cried, put it to my head and thought about it. Nobody was home to stop me, so I called my auntie, hung up, then put the gun up to my heart and pondered. Too much was on my conscience to be smart about it, too torn about it. I aimed where my heart was pounding. I shot it, and I woke up with blood all around me. It's mine. I didn't die, but as I was dying, God came to my side, and we talked about it. He sold me another life, and he made me a prophet.
So many.
Dude is just
his
so
wordplay.
good.
Yeah, his wordplay is dope, man. And it was good to have. And what's crazy is I can't say old Wayne, because so much of this is a product of stuff that's happened to him recently. But it's good to have the Wayne that was the best at wordplay, double, triple meanings.
Yeah,
it's good to have that back.
Bro,
really good.
And he'll have the simplest lines, and your mind will just be blown. One of the my favorite lines from the album, and it's low key inappropriate, but it's hilarious because he goes, I'm an ass with that Uzi, call me a semicolon.
Yeah,
bruh.
yeah. Who gave you that? How did you come up with that?
What? Like that's you shouldn't be that amazed by it, but it's like how you could take someone like a semicolon and just make it gross and also make it a dope line. That
was one of those moments I literally hit my phone in the face. My phone, the pause button was right at the bottom. I was like, yeah. Wait a minute.
This is
dumb.
I
had to run it back. But yeah, now it's good to have the wordplay, because the
like one of his other ones, I capitalize off my own mistakes. You lowercase N-word.
That one, that one. I just laughed.
It's so fun, and that's the best. He's like, he is top 5 punchline rappers, metaphor rappers easily, and it comes like it's nothing to him, like it's nothing. Oh my gosh, there's so many from that album.
I would have loved to have seen Lil Wayne on the battle rap circuit.
Yeah.
Specifically because he wouldn't even be the best rapper, but he would get hands down the most reaction out of people.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He would get the most reaction out of people, not close.
Yeah. Oh, easily. So good. So Carter 5, finally here. Man, I'm happy.
No disrespect to the battle rappers.
I've been listening to it nonstop. My goal, I gotta play my part in making sure Logic doesn't get #1 album over Wayne. I remember when there was a time we fought for that, bro. We fought for that hard. You remember? And that's sad because I was a huge Logic fan, but partially with social media and actually with just his last album and following him on social media, it got so mad.
Following him on social media was the mistake, bro.
Bro, yeah, that's what did it for me. It with all his biracial stuff, every post he was just mentioning at it and stuff like that, blaming the one and stuff like that. And he was also
ever since everybody, bro.
Yeah,
everybody came out.
Everybody came out.
Appreciate it.
Like, look, Suicide Song, appreciate it. Phenomenal song, great song. but it was just like the hype from that album. That was the album that drew, like, Suicide was the song that drew a bunch of people to him.
Yeah.
And it's a great song, very meaningful song and stuff like that. But then from that point on, he just took the biracial stuff to the next point. And it's stuff like that. You see it with many other rappers where it's like sex, money, weed, and stuff like that. They take it to over top. For Logic, it was that biracial stuff. And it was one of those, it's like, all right, dude, we get it. Like you're just trying too hard with now to make it seem like, I mean, you might be struggling with things and stuff like that. We get it. But, like, come on, bro. At the same time,
you told us.
You look real white.
Yeah.
Like.
Also that.
Yeah. So just, it got ridiculous over the top. And for me, I forgot. It was someone, Manny, I think, had retweeted something that he tweeted. It was just something I was like, even me, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And I unfollowed him.
It was Manny. It was.
Manny is the funniest because Manny refers to him as Bobby.
Yes.
And he's
Robert.
Robert. That's what it is. Refers to him by his government name.
Yeah.
And he's so funny. And I read it like a dad, like, punishing a kid. It's like, okay, Robert.
The one that had me dead. That was the one that had me dead. I forget which one it was when Manny was like, okay, Robert.
Okay, Robert, we get it. It was just like,
I lost it.
I feel that. I lost it. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But, yeah, like, I'll eventually get around to listening to Young Sinatra 4.
You said government name.
There is government name out there.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
There was government name. Okay, Robert.
I took a moment to get in my brain. All right, anyway.
It was even worse than Bobby. He used full government name. Robert.
Oh, man. His birth certificate,
and,
man.
like, I don't care who you are, bro. Whatever your rap name could be. Your name is Robert. I'm sorry, dog. Yeah. You just catching that L.
Yeah.
Anybody call you by your first name? Man, shut up, Robert. All right. What you got to come back from that?
I always think of that moment in 8 Mile when M says, and his real name is Clarence. Like, that's what I think of. That's what I think of every time.
Your real name is Robert. All right, stop lying to people.
I know.
All right. I mean, you didn't have to go that far, dog. All right, cool. All right, bro.
Oh, man. Anyway.
Yeah. We praying Wayne get number one. I mean, to me, there's no way he doesn't get number one. Like, all of Friday.
Travis Scott is the only one I think right now that could take it.
No, not even. Like, legit, I think it's between. No, he'll do way more numbers than Travis Scott.
Well,
Travis
yeah,
Scott's
but people have been waiting for this for so long.
Yeah.
I think that is, if it takes him over the top, that'll be why.
Yeah. And I don't see no way that anyone else does more than him. The only person that could potentially do more is Logic, but I haven't been hearing as much hype.
Nope. Yo, it's been weirdly quiet.
Yeah. And that's just quiet. Like you can't compete with Wayne after everyone's been waiting.
Not after
for
all
like
this time, man.
Yeah.
You know how long we've been talking Carter 5? That's crazy.
And I low-key think that's why Kanye didn't drop his. We're not even going to get into that bum. Did you see all the garbage that came out from Saturday Night Live with him? Oh my god!
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Pass.
We're just gonna say it at this point. Think about it. Dude starts wearing the MAGA hat again when his supposed album was supposed to drop this weekend. Dude's just using this all as a way to get attention, and it's sad. It's sad to see it's gotten to this point with someone like him where he easily has fans and stuff like that, but he feels like he needs to reach to this point. And it's one of those, you're just doing all these extreme stuff to try to get people's attention. But it's one of those where everyone's kind of done with him now. And there's even people I know that are like serious Kanye stans that are even like, all right, dude, like, yeah, nah, we done with you at this point. You gone too far. And it's one of those, it's like, there is something seriously going on with this dude where he's just lost. He's lost and confused.
There is. And we talked about this a while back. In that our greatest hope in this situation is that somebody close to him says something. The problem is, and this is kind of just the feeling that we had, is like, I feel like the people around him are the ones that are just like, hey, Kanye, do you? They're like not really ready to be honest with him. Obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but what drives me crazy about this whole thing is it seems like, and I may be way off base, but it seems like he's doing things for attention,
yeah,
when he doesn't need to. Like, he's one of if there was an unwritten Hall of Fame, because there's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
but if there was like the unwritten GOAT conversation, right? He's top 10.
Oh yeah.
He's top 10, non-negotiably in the top 10. You can argue about what the top 10 looks like, right? Whatever. He's top 10.
No,
Can't argue it.
As one of the
Can't argue it. And regardless of the MAGA stuff, when there's a Kanye project coming, and we know it's coming, people take notice.
Yeah.
So what drives me crazy about this, and I would say drives me crazy.
Even if he was to do a surprise like Beyonce album drop out of nowhere, like he would still get attention.
He'd make numbers.
Like,
He'd get numbers.
Yeah.
The thing that I wouldn't say drives me crazy. The thing that bothers me a little bit is it seems like he's doing stuff for attention when he doesn't need it, because he would do numbers anyway.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel like he doesn't think he's getting attention. Which, again, this is kind of going down, not like a trail, but it makes me feel like the people around Kanye don't pay Kanye any mind anymore.
Nope.
Like the people at his level,
no,
they don't pay Kanye any mind anymore.
Nah,
and it's blinding to the fact that we've been waiting for dude to come out with a legit project. Not to say the stuff that he's done isn't legit, but we've been kind of waiting for old Kanye to come back. It makes me feel like the people that are at his level don't pay him any mind.
Well, I mean,
they just
especially I don't know if it dropped last year or 2 years ago, but when Saint Pablo dropped, that album had a lot of hype, and I really like that album. That album was really good, and he was on this solid run between him and then like him and Chance were killing it at the moment, and then he went on tour, started tripping out, and then he had his episode where like he just canceled his tour. It all began on his tour really, where he just started going on these rants and stuff, and then canceling shows and all this, and then he got taken to the hospital. We didn't hear from him in a while, and then he came back.
Yeah.
And you could tell they got him on some meds and some serious stuff. But even then, like, you just hear interviews and him talking and stuff like that. Dude's not okay. And it's sad because it's one of those, it's like everyone's now just reading the bluff of it, and everyone's like, all right, dude, you're just full of it. And it's sad because at the end of the day, like, you keep saying all these stuff about what that MAGA hat means, and then how talking about the slavery and the 13th Amendment.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Just, you can tell he doesn't know what he's talking about. But at the end of the day, he's doing all this stuff, and Trump's just tweeting about it, using him as, it's just, you make it so easy. Like Trump, it's dumb. Whatever. It don't matter. Kanye canceled anyway. I know we talked about not canceling people, and that's a dumb idea, but I mean, dude's done with. Like, no hype for him. It's sad. It's real sad.
Yeah. And again, I'm gonna say this, then we can not mention dude's name again, because what he wants is attention. What he wants is his name in our mouths. But dude's just operating as a puppet for Trump right now.
Yeah.
And that is, I think that might be.
It's the sad part.
Outside of the whole mental health part, is the saddest thing about this whole thing. Is that he looks like Hydra, man. Like Hail Hydra. Like you will be rewarded for your compliance. Like that's it kind of seems like comes off to me. So it's just
it's like one of those like. Good job. It's almost like a dog. It's like, oh, you're a good boy. Who's a good boy?
You're a lackey. Yeah. That's what it just feels weird. Like, just a lackey, but.
And the worst part of it for everyone is just the fact that, like, Trump tweets stuff and everyone's just like, see what you're doing, you freaking idiot. Like, he's over here parading you. Essentially, you're his connection to the quote unquote black community. And it's just, I don't even want to talk about it. Whatever. It's done. We're going to take a quick break. And then we're going to get into our most iconic movie scenes of all time.
Oh, yeah. I got a list. Wow.
Got a list? It ain't in order.
I can't. I tried my best to put mine.
Do it.
I just put favorites, so I put mine in an order.
Yeah.
We're not making any definitive statements tonight, but we're looking forward to sharing that with y'all. So we'll catch you in a few.
After the break. All right, let's do it. This is our top movie scenes of all time, cinematic masterpieces, wonderful scenes of all time. Once again, mine are in no particular order because one, I kind of did it last minute, and two, there's just way too many, and I can't crown one scene the best.
Yeah.
Stuff like that with movies is just so hard to crown one as the top of all, especially because there's always new movie coming out, and so what I might think is number one now will change probably a week from now or 2 weeks from now, and there's so many movies, like I'll probably remember something halfway through this, and so yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. So I just kind of compiled a bunch of them so we can just go back and forth.
I'm cool.
Them.
I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
how many
we'll
you got?
have
You got
same
more than
ones.
10?
Oh yeah, I got more.
Yeah,
One, two,
I had to
three,
delete a few.
four,
I was like, bro, this could be the whole back half of the podcast, the whole
Yeah.
back half of the episode.
Nah, I think
We
like
are-
I got 12 to 15.
All
so
right.
not too bad. But
that's cool.
a couple of them I also said last week, and so I won't mention those. I won't mention a couple of the ones I said last week because
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not as big.
Now you could remind the folk.
But I mean, the first one I'll start off with is two in one movie. This one is The Lion King,
Hey,
and the beginning of the movie where the monkey, what's his name, lifts up Simba.
oh Rafiki.
Rafiki.
Yeah,
When Rafiki lifts up Simba over the cliff
Yes.
and whatever. Such an iconic scene.
Yes.
And obviously. And then the other scene is Mufasa dying over there, holding on. And, you know,
Dang.
Scar, you a hoe. He ain't even do nothing to you, bruh. Jealous little Scar. I had to slice my man's hands up. He lets go, and then he just fades into the trampling gazelles. And such a sad scene. And you just see Simba running to him. And just, yeah,
Man,
I'm
my
getting in
man.
my feels, getting all emotional. But,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas did such a great job, bro. Had me crying.
yeah.
Had me all missed. I know, stop, bro. That was my movie dad. Simba was my movie dad, bro. My man killed my movie dad.
Yeah, tragic. All right, so that's what I got.
All right, man. I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start low on the list, and hopefully they'll get better and better and better. I got and I gave mine titles. All of them got titles. This one's called "Oh Y'all Got Dinosaurs, Dinosaurs," and it's the first time you see when the T-Rex breaks out of the enclosure in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean and it's the whole thing with it's raining. They got the flare. He throws the flare, and then overturns the car with the kids in it, and he puts his foot up on the car. He does that roar, which is one of the most iconic scenes in movie history.
Yeah.
But yet, I think that was the moment where everybody in the movie realized, oh, y'all got dinosaurs.
Oh, like they real.
Yeah, y'all got y'all got problem dinosaurs. So
Yeah.
that's my first one.
All right. My next one is the intro to Up. I'm knocking out all the animated movies first. The intro to Up was just so beautiful because it basically tells the story of the old guy, and I forget what his name is. Let me look it up.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Fredrickson.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's Carl Fredrickson.
Carl.
I believe it's
yeah.
Carl, yeah.
Yeah, Carl Fredrickson. So the beginning of the movie starts off by kind of giving a highlight of Carl's life, and see it from the beginning when he's young to him meeting his wife, his eventual wife, him proposing to her, and then as you're seeing this, it all seems so lovely and stuff. And it's a Pixar movie, so it's all la-di-da-di, and you're like, oh, this is a feel-good movie and stuff. Happy
I got
scene.
a couple Pixar movies on my list.
yeah. And then from there, as it gradually continues, you see his wife becoming sick, and she's struggling, and she's like less and less more active, and you see him caring for her. Next thing you know, it cuts to the scene of like a funeral, and at that moment, you're just like, wait, what the frick just happened?
We're 10 minutes into the movie.
Not even 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, that whole sequence is 3 minutes. And so 3 minutes into the movie, the first minute or two, you're thinking, okay, recapping the life of Carl, sweet, him and his wife, and cute. And then, get to a part where she passes away, and he's at the funeral there, and in the aftermath of how sad he is. And you're just like, what the frick? Like, if this is how the movie starts off, like, where are we going from here? And I just remember watching that that scene, because I think I saw the movie in theater, and everyone in the theater was just like held their breath when that moment, and you could almost hear some people just sniffling and like, and it's crazy because it's an animated movie, but Pixar is so good at doing that, and Pixar is really good for making movies that people may see like it's for kids, but actually it's for adults. Up, I think, is one of those movies. Mm-hmm. Another one is Inside Out. Inside Out is 100% an adult movie, like 100%, and not in the sense that like it's rated R or it has inappropriate content and stuff. It's just the meaning of it. It goes way beyond what like a kid could comprehend. For a kid, it's just this cute movie. Oh, they got emotions and stuff. But when you watch Inside Out, it's just
that movie's for parents.
Genius. Yeah,
like that's what that movie's for.
It's so genius. That's one of the most genius movies I've ever seen. So, Up, that opening scene with Carl's life.
Yeah, and I would like to follow that up with another Pixar title. This is from the original Toy Story. It's the "You Are a Toy," and it's a ridiculously hilarious run of dialogue between Tim Allen and Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah.
And Woody has convinced Buzz that they need to get to Pizza Planet.
Yeah.
Woody's resigned to the fact that, okay, I just got to play along because this dude is clearly insane. He thinks he's a space ranger. We got to get to Pizza Planet. Buzz gets taken to Pizza Planet by Andy. Woody has to sneak out the house and get into the car.
Yep.
They're both in the car. They end up getting into a fight at the gas station. The car leaves without him, and they're sitting in the middle of this gas station parking space arguing. Mm-hmm. And it culminates to Woody literally screaming at Buzz, "You are a toy." He said, "You're not even, you're an action figure." And he says, "You are a child's plaything. You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell." And he just leaves. Yeah.
And Buzz is like, "Wait, what the frick just happened?"
What? You are a sad, strange little. Yeah. So good. But yes, Toy Story 1. What feels like, and there's a lot of them out there, but the movie that felt like started Pixar's just run of just greatness.
Yeah.
The original Toy Story.
I got a few movies with multiple scenes that are like really good.
Yeah,
the next one we talked about last week, but I want to highlight again. Fury, that scene where they're eating lunch, dinner, or whatever with that like the mom and the daughter. That scene was just super intense, where you're just like, you got Brad Pitt here who just came in and like essentially was just talking with the wife, chilling, whatever, and then his homeboys come crashing in, and then now it's an awkward scene.
Yeah.
And you got one dude who's just trying to start ish up. Brad Pitt's trying to diffuse the situation, just trying to have it all be cool. And then you got two instigators also. And so it's just a mixture of just everything that could go wrong will go wrong. And it was just such a great scene. And like we said, the end of it, where Michael Peña's character is just, I'm sorry, guys, I'm just drunk. And he's the one that like starts it and starts just crap going. And it's such a great scene. And it's one of those like standstill scenes that last like 10 minutes long. But the whole time you're intrigued, you're pulled into the scene, and the dialogue is just so well done.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't even have some of the scenes from that movie on this list because last week we talked about at the very end, like everybody's gone but the young character, and not to spoil it for anybody, but they zoom out from the tank that they were fighting from, and you just see how many people they held off at that crossroads. It's absolutely like there's pretty much a drone shot.
Yeah.
And right before the credits roll, they just take you higher and higher and higher, and then they just stop and they just show you this crossroads, and they're sitting there, the tank's just sitting there in the middle of these crossroads, and there's just bodies everywhere. Like, it's just nuts.
Yeah, that's the other scene.
I think about Shia's character at the very end. It's the last time he quotes scripture in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And he goes to quote Isaiah, and Brad Pitt finishes the verse for him. And Shia looks at him, and like, Brad goes, Book of Isaiah, chapter 6.
Yeah.
And they just kind of laugh. And it's so sad because, like, you know what's coming.
Uh-huh.
But it's this, from Shia's perspective, it's like, because he even makes the comment, I've been working on you heathens like this whole time. Yeah. Right? Like, I've been trying. He said, I'm sick of
so hard, and you've actually been
He says something in that movie where he says, I'm sick of trying to convert you heathens.
Yeah,
which is really good. But there's best friends. There's best friends in the world. So, but yeah, there's a couple from them that were really good. I got one from, and this one snuck up on me. I didn't even look up movie scenes for this one. I don't know how this one came to me, but I realized it's one of my favorite scenes ever. The Braille scene from the Book of Eli, and it's when you realize Eli, or the main character, is blind.
Yeah.
And if you've seen that movie, and maybe some of you were able to pick it up before the movie ended, once I watched it a second time, I was like, oh, there was a ton of tells. But the first time, I gotta be honest, I did not know. I did not know. And you get to the end of the movie and you realize this dude is blind. If you've seen the movie, all the stuff that he does, you're like, oh, there's no way.
Nope.
But basically, there's this guy who is transporting the last copy of the Bible from one side of the country to the other, and he's trying to get out to California. And it's post-apocalyptic Earth. It would remind people a lot of Mad Max, in the sense of just like there's no law, water is a huge resource, all this stuff, but he's got to fight and kill and protect, all this, getting from, trying to get to his destination. And he finally gets to this printing press in California. Yeah. And they open up the Bible and it's all Braille, and you realize dude was blind. And I remember that's one of the it snuck up on me as I was thinking about the list. One of my all-time favorites. And again, if you didn't pick up on it while you're watching the movie, huge twist.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah. Real crazy. All right. My next one is Dark Knight. The one we talked about last week, the pencil scene, that's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. But the other one I like is the one where the Joker's basically going to the Batman. He's like, what you don't realize is me and you, we're more alike than you want to consider.
Yep.
Yeah, and that dialogue right there where he's saying stuff, and like as you're listening to it, you don't want it to be true. You're like, yeah, he actually is making a solid point. And you could even see just the tension in Christian Bale's, like the Batman's face at that moment, and he just loses it. And that's one of those, like, Christian Bale I thought was a phenomenal Batman, because he just, like, that movie, it's one of those, you just see so much emotion within Batman, and you see how, like, the Joker, it was such a great 1-2 punch between Christian Bale and Heath Ledger's character, and you could just feel the, like, intensity the whole time and the tension. And yeah, and particularly in that scene, it was really well done. And then the other one in Dark Knight Rises, like I mentioned last week, the football field exploding. As Hines Ward's running with the ball in his hand, and it was crazy.
Right. I'm gonna wait to get that movie. I've got that farther down my list. But I had to make another list. It's literally 5 scenes from that movie that could have gone on this list. But The Dark Knight is an all timer. Let's see here. I have next on my countdown. Oh wow, yeah. The next on my countdown is the interrogation scene from The Dark Knight, and
oh yeah,
the Joker, and it might even have been the same scene where they've been questioning dude, getting nowhere.
Yeah,
Batman comes in,
gets in there, puts a chair
up against the door, and starts beating the heck out of this dude. And the whole time, he's just laughing. He's just laughing, and he's like, "Look at you go." Yeah. And he says something that haunted me for a while.
And you feel that frustration.
Oh yeah, because you're not gonna get anything.
Yeah,
you're getting nothing. And I gotta have chills to this day thinking about what he says to him. His head is up against the wall, and he says to him, "You have nothing to threaten me with." And it's like, there is nothing. There's nothing. True. Because you remember how the scene? Because I remember the scene starts where it's like all dark and there's a light just over the Joker, and he looks around and he goes to tell him something, and Batman slams his head into the table, and Joker responds like, you're like, okay, this dude is out of it. Like he's completely lost it, because he responds to Batman by saying, "You never start with the head, because after that everything else is just fuzzy."
Yeah.
And I was like, God, dog. But he says he's just getting his tail beaten. He's like, "You have absolutely nothing to threaten me with." But yeah, Dark Knight, that's the first of, I've got 2, but yeah, that's the first of my scenes from that I might have to just go back and watch that, man.
Yeah, no, I do.
Man,
making this list has made me want to watch several movies.
Oh yeah,
Fury being one of those. My next one, let's see. Now we're getting into the good stuff.
Yes, I'm looking at my top of my list right now is Heat.
So this next one, and actually was looking through some scenes, and this one reminded me, and I forgot how good this scene was. But do you remember the movie Gravity with George Clooney and Sandra
Oh
Bullock?
My gosh, yes.
Yeah, so that scene towards the end where George Clooney's kind of like floating out. They're like outside the space station.
Yep.
I forgot what happened to lead to that. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie, but I remember that scene. And so he's being dragged out into space. Sandra Bullock is kind of like, both of them are just fleeing around in space, barely being held on by like the attachment thing. And then Sandra Bullock, her leg gets caught around some like film or some string looking thing.
Yeah.
So she starts like George Clooney starts going and like starts floating away, and she reaches out and grabs his hand, and he clips himself to her or something like that. I forgot the scene, but in that moment, as he's holding on, and he was just like, "Hey, like, you gotta let me go." And she's like, no, I'm gonna try to pull you back in. Like, no, you gotta let me go. And he's like, no, I can pull you back in. And he's like, look, you're gonna leave me no option. And you see him slowly start to clip himself away from like the rope she's holding on to keep him. And he's like, look, like, let me go. Don't make me have to do this myself. And she's like, no. So finally, he just unclips it, lets go, and he just floats into space. And you're just like, and there's, as I was watching kind of the highlight, like the trailer for that movie's was phenomenally shot. Because I forgot how realistic it was. It looked like legit. It was in space.
And there's no sound.
And
outside of breathing and their voices for the most part. And
there's so many long, intense scenes where there was another part, like early in the movie, where where it all starts with Sandra Bullock getting lost and kind of him having to save her, and that scene was crazy watching that. But that scene visually was just so beautiful, and you just see him kind of floating off with the earth down there below, and it looks so realistic. It looks like legit. Hey, we took a ship to space and just filmed this real quick, and it was just such a dope scene.
Man. Oh, man. So, I have, after the interrogation scene in The Dark Knight, and Gravity is one I watched once.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch it until like a year or two after it came out. Like I literally didn't even watch it till like way, way after the fact. And you were the one of the people that told me like that movie. Because did you go see it in theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah. You went and saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get to that one. Next scene I have is back to Pixar. I called this one India Golf Niner Niner. And this is the scene, if you've never seen The Incredibles, number one, if you're a movie fan, watch it. Doesn't have to be if you're an animated movie fan or not. It's Pixar. It's a great movie. But there's a scene where one of the main characters, she's a mom of 3 kids, is on her way to rescue her husband, who's a superhero. What she does not know is that her 2 older kids have stowed away on this plane. The kids don't know that they're on their way to a really dangerous situation. Yeah. But having military and pilot experience, mom's kind of sitting in the cockpit and she's trying to get this island where her husband is on the line, like over comms. And she keeps like trying, and she starts talking to herself. She says, okay, maybe they're just like all getting coffee at the same time. And the scene switches to where the husband is and he's being interrogated.
Yeah.
And over the course of him getting interrogated, the dude that's interrogating him finally opens the comms and he hears his wife trying to make contact with the island.
Yeah.
And he keeps asking him, who is your contact? Who is your contact? Who is your inside person or whatever? And he can't answer because he doesn't have a contact. Dude launches missiles at his wife. And what follows is one of the most intense scenes in the whole movie because she detects missiles getting launched at her shortly after finding out that 2 of her kids are on the plane. And like she's piloting this plane and missiles are following the plane simultaneously. Like the hero that's on his name's Bob, that's on the island, is like begging, please call the missiles off. And it's this alternation between him down on the ground and her up in the air of piloting away from these missiles and trying to convince one of her kids to use her powers to like protect the plane.
Yeah.
It like the whole scene is insane.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because the daughter is unable to do it. She has to like wrap them up. The plane explodes. They crash. They fall into the water and stuff like that. But as far as animated movie scenes go, on the top of my list. If you haven't seen Incredibles, go watch it. It's really, really good.
Because doesn't she she puts a force field over the RV, right? Because they end up landing in the RV, wasn't it?
Yeah. So the way that it works in the movie is like the daughter's name is Violet, the mom's name is Helen, and Helen is telling Violet because Violet has this ability to make force fields.
Yeah. She's
like, Violet, and this is when she realizes that there is no getting away from these missiles. She looks back from the controls and she goes, Violet, I need you to put a force field around the plane. Yeah. And Violet's like, I thought you said we're not supposed to use our powers. And Mom responds, I know what I said. Listen to what I'm saying now. Yeah. Which was that whole thing too. Like if you have kids or if you ever remember a parent ever telling you not to do something and then in a situation saying we have to do this. Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
But she's trying and trying and trying. She's sparking the shield up and she can't do it. She's totally stressed out. And the moment right before the missiles hit is really, really cool because you have to remember this whole thing's animated. She realizes the missiles are going to hit. In a split second, she just whips the headset off, jumps in the back, and then covers because her suit is super strong.
Yeah. And
covers her 2 kids. The plane blows up. They fall out of the plane. Yeah. Mom's unconscious. The 2 kids are falling to the ground, like free falling to the ground, no chutes.
And then she becomes above.
Yeah, she wakes up, turns into a parachute, and that whole thing. Like that whole thing. And even when they hit the water, there's this moment of like, he's screaming, and it's kind of funny. He's like, "We're dead. We're dead. We're alive, but we're dead." Yeah, and then she dunks their heads under the water, and then the plane like falls into the whole from the time.
And at that point, he thinks they're dead.
Yeah. Just nuts. Just absolutely, especially for an animated movie.
Yeah.
Insane.
That was, really good. All right, I'm going to start flying through this next one. My next one is from Pulp Fiction. And this scene was crazy because I hadn't watched it first. I had heard of it first. because it had such great quotable lines from it. English, mother.
Yes.
Speak it.
What country you from?
Say what one more time. But it's the scene where Samuel L. Jackson's character is interrogating the dude, trying to get information about him, about like Marcel, whatever the dude's name. He's like, where's Marcellus or whatever his dude, and he's like, what? Every time he asks the dude a question, dude replies, what? And he's like, say what one more time. Say what one more time.
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English in what?
And so he asks him a next question, and dude starts to answer, and then he says what, and shoots him in the chest. And then from there, he starts to quote Ezekiel 25:17, and he's just quoting this Bible verse, pointing the gun at him, and finally ends with the Bible verse, and then him and John Travolta's character just go ham on the dude, start firing away. But that scene, it was just like one of the most iconic scenes where Samuel L. Jackson got known for just his like
just
angry,
cursing. Cursing,
angry narrative, and he got famous for saying MF.
That's right.
That was literally, he became known, the dude that says MF mother in every movie.
Yeah,
every movie.
We were surprised when we saw him in Avengers for the first time. He didn't say it.
Yeah,
they were trying to keep it PG-13.
Yeah, because I remember in high school, I downloaded this app, and it was like basically it was basically like a soundboard, and so it had a bunch of different soundboards on it, and one of them was like it had at least 5 different soundboards from that one scene alone. English, mother. Do you speak it?
Do you speak it?
Say what one more time. Say what one more time. It's so good. Such a funny scene.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Funny scene. Such a good
forgot
scene.
about that one. Next on my list is, and I think you might have this one on yours. This was called Freedom.
Yep.
Now, actually, that's a reference to the scene that happens later, but Mel Gibson's speech in Braveheart near the last act of the movie, or in the last act of the movie, cannot be forgotten. Mm-hmm. Absolutely iconic. Yeah. Also happens to be one of my favorites.
Intense speech. Next one, Matrix. We talked about that last week. Dodging the bullets, doing that slow motion.
He's the one.
Something everybody tried to do and messed up their back.
He's the one.
It was so legendary. Just such
fell.
Yeah. Everybody attempted but fell and hurt themselves even worse. So, Matrix.
So I got The Kick. I'm assuming you haven't seen it, and it's okay, but it's the scene in the movie where they're a couple layers deep in Inception.
Yeah,
and it's called The Kick because they're having to wake themselves up from multiple dream layers at the same time.
I'm gonna act like I understand what you're saying, but keep going.
Yep. No, that's all. That's all. Because I refuse to give that movie away for you.
No, that's
it's so good.
That's good. I'm gonna watch it. All right. Next one for me is from $1 Million Baby, and I forgot about this movie, but this used to be my favorite movie when it came out, and it was such a really good movie. But basically, in the movie, it's Jennifer Gardner, and movie starts off. She's just like this waitress. And she gets into she's boxing on the side, and she reaches out to Clint Eastwood. I guess like Clint Eastwood, it's like this highly coveted trainer or former boxer. I don't remember the movie that well.
Right.
But so she eventually gets Clint Eastwood to train her, and as the movie goes on, she becomes a really good boxer. She's phenomenal. And towards the middle of the movie, she has this one fight with this chick, intense fight going on. And so I think it's like the second or third round ends, and they're fighting, bell rings, she's done. And she says something like, her and the chick are kind of talking or whatever, and she says something like back to the chick, and she turns around, and as she's turning around, the chick just cheap shot punches her. After the bell's done, after it rings, the chick just punches her, and you just see her slowly start to fall. But a couple seconds before that had happened, you know how they sent the stools out on the mat for them like to sit down, water and stuff. Her trainer had set it on, like set the stool on the next to the corner of the ring, and they were getting the water and stuff ready. The stool was sideways, and so like the seat part of it was kind of like sticking out with the legs sticking to the side.
Yeah.
And as she's falling, she falls on the stool, her neck hitting in between where the wood part is.
Yeah.
And she just basically like snaps her neck from there. And so that happens. You see her just kind of crack her neck, and it just goes quiet from there. And like that scene was just such a just an intense scene, and like they slow-mo her fall and everything. And it's one of those because it's one of those they like show the part of the stool being put onto the mat, but like you don't think of anything of it.
Yeah.
Until like after she gets hit and as she's falling, and you're like, oh wait,
no way.
Move that stool. Somebody do, and like you're just that whole time, and then that happens, and like at this whole time you're thinking this movie is gonna be one of those glorious stories about the like this boxer, stuff like that, and then everything kind of changes from that moment.
Yeah.
And from that point, she's trying to rehab, trying to get back better and stuff. And I don't want to give away the movie, but the end of it is kind of like the end of it is just real sad and stuff like that. But it's a really crazy scene.
Yeah. No, that's a good one, and that's one I probably saw that movie a little bit too early, but it is a really good movie. Did Clint Eastwood direct that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of his early directing ones too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, that's a clutch one. That's a clutch one. So next on my list, we had the Freedom of Braveheart kick from Inception. I threw in a Star Wars scene. And it's probably not the one that you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Luke, I'm your father. It's not the one. Man, for those of you that are into swordplay or choreography in movies, I put Duel of the Fates. And it's from Phantom Menace when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight Darth Maul. If you don't know who Darth Maul is a black and red dude who had the double lightsaber. The whole scene where those three are fighting is incredible and easily the best part about that movie, because Phantom Menace always gets a bad rap. If Phantom Menace has anything, it has, and y'all can fight me on this, the best lightsaber battle in all of Star Wars. This is where I duck out the way in case y'all throwing shoes. I'm gonna George Bush these shoes real quick. But yeah, Duel of the Fates, Phantom Menace, and then from here on out, boy, we got nothing but bangers. Rest of the list. What you got?
All right, my next one is Goodfellas. That scene where they're sitting there joking around, and one of the guys goes to one of the other dudes and is like, man, you're funny. And from there, the dude's like, what do you mean I'm funny? And it's kind of like, oh, you're just funny. And then he keeps like interrogating. He's like, no, what do you mean it's funny? And it goes from like a funny, haha, everybody laughing around to like a really intense scene out of nowhere. And the dude is just like, I didn't mean it like being offensive or anything. It's just like I thought it was funny, and like no, and it's just one of those more great scenes because we've all had that moment in our life where you've got that one person who's too intense, that one person that just takes everything too serious, or they can crack jokes and stuff, but once the jokes start getting cracked about them, they get super like sensitive or super intense, and the mood just changes in like a heartbeat and stuff. So that's one of those scenes where like just such iconic scenes from Goodfellas, and just one of Quentin Tarantino's classics. Like a lot of my top scenes are like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, I could have had a couple of those too, because I often think of Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah.
I think of Hateful Eight. I think, and we talked last week about Inglourious Basterds.
Yeah,
Inglourious Basterds. There's a few on it from that movie that really good.
I got a couple for Inglourious Basterds. I'll just go ahead and knock out now. But the pub scene in Inglourious Basterds.
Oh my gosh.
Is such a brilliant scene because it's like a 20-30 minute. It's a long,
intense,
long scene.
Your butthole clenched for a long time.
Scene. But it's so good, and it's one of those you could because Quentin Tarantino is known for like shooting long scenes like that, where it's just actors.
You gotta be on, you gotta be on your job.
Actors are acting out for like 8 to 10 minutes, no stops and stuff like that. And so it's one of those scenes where they're supposed to be meeting with some spies, and then just things kind of go array. And it's cool because one of the narratives, they're all sitting around tables and there's conversation going on. There's people joining conversations that don't need to be joining conversations. Things start getting intense.
Yes.
And as the conversation is gradually going on, then you get shot from under the table, and you see everyone's just pointing a gun at different people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like two different stories between, like, you see facial expressions, you see conversations, you think, oh, everything's chill, you know, it's a little intense and stuff, but nothing's going to pop off yet. But under the table, everyone's already got guns cocked and stuff like that.
Yep.
And one of the more iconic lines in that when they start shooting, it's like the dude goes, I say bye to your pee-pee or something like that. And he like shoots the dude across from him right in the nuts. And then from there, it just guns free. Is crazy. But that pub scene was absurd.
Because isn't that the scene where they were talking to each other in German?
Yeah.
And dude could tell that his accent
like,
wasn't right.
Like,
yes, bro.
Like,
that scene is incredible.
Is off,
yeah. Because he asked him where he's from, like what region he's from or whatever. And I thought that was, that whole scene is intense, super intense. Love Tarantino stuff, and I knew you'd have some, so I kind of left mine, especially because we talked about a couple of those. But you had another one? Did you have another one from that movie?
I did. My other one from that movie is the beginning of the movie where Christoph Waltz, his character, comes up to the house and he's kind of meeting with the father, and basically he's there to figure out if they're hiding any Jews. And it's just a long, intense scene because like you come to realize that they're hiding literally right under from where he is.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he just does a great job of like breaking the dude down to the point where he gets the dude to tell him where they are. And like the dude, he carries on the conversation, and the dude points at where they are. And so he acts like, you know what? I enjoy this meal. It's so great and stuff. Yeah. And as he's doing that, he like waves to his officers, points at the spot, and he keeps talking. The officers stand over the spot where the people are hiding under the basement, and they just start firing away at the family, like killing it. It's just such a crazy scene. And like that scene happens, and then it ends from there, and the movie essentially begins again over with a different
it paces
scene.
you. It paces you.
Yeah, and so like that whole happens, and you're like, okay, like, all right, I'm sure we're gonna find out what that all ties into later. Yeah, but like it takes another hour or so before it comes to reveal like the one girl that escaped, like she moved on to like she like escaped. And then she now owns this theater and stuff, and how now it all ties at the end.
And Tarantino's always been good at like, and we talked about this after we walked out of Hateful Eight. He will purposely show you a detail. Like, you remember Hateful Eight with the jelly bean? He'll show you a detail. Yep. Knowing full well you're not going to figure out how that detail is significant. Not at all. Like, not even a little bit.
It's so well done. His movie.
He's so good at like showing you stuff and like teasing you and going, this is significant. Yeah. And you're not going to figure out why. Yeah. I will show you. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And that movie is another example. I got this was a last minute addition. This is the scene from Interstellar where Matthew McConaughey says, "No, it's necessary."
Oh yeah.
And it's the scene where at the space station they're on a ship, and the space station they need to dock with, there's a portion of it that explodes. And if you know anything about space, the space station is just spinning. Yeah. So what? But the fact that they have to dock the station doesn't change. Matthew McConaughey literally pilots the ship to match the rotation, the speed and rotation of this station to dock it. And this robot tells him, like put me, or the robot tells him basically like, that's impossible.
Yeah, the percent chance is like absurd.
He's like it doesn't matter if it's not possible, it's necessary. Yeah. And like obviously this is, Hans Zimmer and Chris Nolan, right? They got the score pumped up to like 12 and he's rotating the thing, and you the viewer are getting like seasick, and it's intense. Yeah. And he docks it, and the score pairs down And I remember being in the theater. We might have seen that one together too. That we're being in the theater, and the whole row was just like jaws open, staring at the screen like,
absurd.
"What did we just watch?"
Yeah.
But yeah, it's necessary. And then one other one I snuck in there from the movie was the scene where they go down to the planet. And again, if you know anything about the movie, they're near a wormhole, so time works a little bit different. And they've been told ahead of time before going to this planet that passage of time moves slower there than back at the station. They get stuck there for some stuff happens.
Yeah.
They get back to the station and realize it's been, I don't even know, it was like 30-something years, 20-something years or whatever.
Yeah.
And he comes back, realizes it's been decades, and sits down and watches all of his video messages from his family.
Oh, yeah.
When Matthew McConaughey is just watching, and it's just this range of emotions where it's like, oh, I'm a granddad. Oh, somebody in our family died, and he's like, he's laughing, smiling, and then bawling.
Yeah.
At parts, and you're just like
going through all.
Oh my gosh, that was a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But Interstellar with two really, really good scenes.
Yeah, because it was like he thought he was gone for a short time, and it was like, nah, dude, you've been gone for years.
Yeah, because he knows he's been gone for a while.
Yeah,
and he asks the guy, he's like, how long we've been gone, and he tells him how long. And
it's just crazy.
Yeah, I forget. Oh, I don't know why I'm forgetting her name.
Emotion.
Yeah, but the first thing he does, he walks over to the computer and turns it on and just starts watching, because he realizes that he's missed everything. But yeah, wild, absolutely wild,
crazy. I got most of mine. Last couple are just easy ones that like everyone knows. The Titanic scene with Jack and Rose over the front of the ship, holding her there. I mean, easily iconic.
Yes,
obviously.
That's up there with for the same reason that's up there with Lion King.
Yep. And then the other one is the Rocky running up the steps.
Oh yeah.
City behind him.
Yeah.
Legendary. Such a legendary scene that's been replicated in some sort of way in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Couple crossover ones with you. Obviously, we had the He's the One moment from Matrix, and then how about a magic trick from Dark Knight? I just rewatched that a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Still fantastic.
So good.
Last one I got, and this is both iconic and this is where the Venn diagram crosses over, where it's iconic scenes and scenes that I love, movies that I love. Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
Maximus Decimus Aurelius from the Gladiator, man.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, because they put him in there by himself, and he kills everything, and it gets to the point where like the crowd noise starts to go down, like they're cheering and stuff and cheering, and then eventually they just stop cheering and watch this dude kill everything, and he finally kills the last dude, and the crowd's just kind of like, what just happened? And he goes, are you not entertained? And I'm pretty sure he throws his sword into the stands, which was pretty crazy. He just throws his sword in the stands. And then the scene at the end of the movie when he fights Commodus.
Yeah.
Bruh, that fight scene is crazy. But yeah, are you not entertained? That's so iconic. They got that on rap songs.
Yeah. I got one last one I just remembered that I had added, but I forgot to mention. But that scene from the new the most recent Mad Max, with all the cars driving and like Tom Hardy tied in front of that car, and the dude's like taking essentially his blood. He's like giving blood to the It's just I watched that scene earlier, and there's so much going on in that one scene.
Yes.
But it's so brilliantly done. And I think it's one of those, I think they used no CGI in that movie, right? I'm pretty sure.
It was all practical effects.
Yeah, it was all so that like you just watch that scene and it's like, wait, y'all shot the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
For real.
There is so much about
such a crazy scene.
That movie is going to be considered a modern classic.
Yeah.
There's so much about that outside. If you've never seen the original Mad Max movies, it doesn't matter. All you really need to know is that it's supposed to, and even then they explain why the Earth is the way that it is. But the whole silver spray paint thing,
it's
like the whole that in the what a lovely day, like that whole movie from that movie's crazy. That movie is nuts. Or at the end, when they're getting away and their car is overheating. So my man's literally got a bottle of water he's drinking and then spitting the water into the engine. Like that. Man, that's that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
That one, that's a good one.
Yeah, solid. So that's some of our favorite, most iconic scenes of all time in cinema.
I'm posting these, man. So like I want to know. I'm about to let the fellas know tonight. They got to hit us up with what are your favorite or what do you believe?
Yeah.
Are the most iconic?
I know there's a ton we missed.
We didn't even hit on the classics. We didn't even hit on Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
We didn't hit like Sound of Music, like all the like
there's
classic
some
classics.
oldies.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So let us know what your favorite cinema scenes of all time are. Ones that you think are iconic. We gave you ours. We want to hear what yours is. Once again, you can find us on Twitter for the podcast. The Twitter podcast is C Discourse Pod. C Discourse Pod at C Discourse Pod. Tweet us there. Follow us there.
Yes.
Retweet when we post new episodes there. You can listen to this on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get it. We on there.
Oh yeah.
Might even be on YouTube. I don't know. I'm losing track at this point.
Are we gonna do like what's the name from Fox? Was it Fox Sports? Or really, because Mike and Mike used to do it too. They'd have the radio show, but they'd actually film the radio show.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We about to take it to the next level, y'all. We about to take it to the next level.
That'd be dope. So go ahead, follow us there, and also you can follow me at Thundercat Felix.
Oh yes, and at Chase actually on Twitter, Top Speed Chase on Instagram. So we look forward to see what you guys got out there, man. And then there's a stupid ton of movies. Gosh. But yeah, follow us, like us, rate us. We look forward to seeing you guys out there.
Yeah, I gotta get some medicine because I've been constipated the past few days. I don't know what the frick going on.
I was wondering, bro. You were in the bathroom for a few seconds,
bro. I've been having that feeling of I gotta poop, and then I'll get in the bathroom and I'll sit there.
I got some.
Just air coming out.
I got some frosted mini wheats down there, bro.
Air going out. I know. I need some more
flax,
fiber.
Some flax seed. Yeah.
I might just be chewing on some mini weeds for a while, but pray for your boy.
Prayers are going up, man.
Yep. Catch y'all next week.
Well, what a way to end the podcast.
I know why. I don't know why.
BT Dub, your boy constipated.
I might have overshared. Apologize.
It's all good.
And on that note, catch y'all next week. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we out.